Hello dear viewer, I'm LeeSuss and welcome back to Infinifactory. That's right, I've decided to create some more terrible machines that are so horrifying I'm actually going to raise the level of suffering on the internet very slightly just by recording this video. We're going to do the life support system puzzle, which we had a very brief look at the end of the last video. And one thing I did forget actually was to see what old Moth Boy over here wanted. He looks a bit like a moth, doesn't he? I think he does. I seem to remember he does. Yeah, he's a bit. Makes me think a bit mothy. He's got little antennae and a fuzzy face. Ortis.
That Maruvo kid is fascinated by you soft-skinned meatbags. No offense, but doesn't care about me, last of my sort, lone wanderer Ortis.
Blah blah
Nobody
blah.
traveling the stars, building things for you.
What?
I don't like it.
I'm doing the building. Not you, Chuckles, you big misery. Right, okay. This one I'm quite interested by. Partly because it makes me think of those factory programs like How It's Made and the like, where you have a block of metal arrives on a little conveyor belt, and then a bunch of drills come in and go zzz, and cut all the shapes out of it, things like that. That's what I'm thinking of here, because I've got to make these grooves into it, and that's making me think about that as what we could be doing here. And imagine this coming in here, and then a couple of drill heads come in, and the whole object rotates and cuts out the different bits and pieces, the different grooves and slots in it, and then it comes over here to get fixed together with these bits. However, I think we're going to have to scramble that idea, because I've been like I do normally. Once I've seen what needs to be made, I spend a bit of time just thinking about it, dog walking again, about how I would do this and trying to come up with a purely thought-based idea. And I think it's going to be a problem for us to do this and to have it come in and then have the drill bits work in that way. I can just show you why as well. If we come out to here and I pause it. So if you imagine maybe that we've got a big block like this, and then we've got a single drill bit that comes in on the side, and then we rotate the object and we drill into the side and things like that. Or we could do something where we maybe lifted it up and then drilled into the side, and then it came down and got rotated and went back up again. First of all, that might take a bit too long compared to the other things that are happening over here. But also, it's actually not a problem with the drills and controlling those. It's a problem of sensors. Because the issue is there's only two sorts of sensor in the game, which is the side sensor and the top sensor. So if you're reading from the side, maybe a sensor block about here, and detecting when the block gets here and then to start the movement going on, you then can't rotate the block because the sensor would be in the way. It would clash as it rotated. And if you put a sensor on top, well, it's entirely possible that as the block rotates, it doesn't actually get, the sensor doesn't become non-detecting just because the block is rotating under it. And then the sensor gets in the way of some of the movements you want to do with the drills as well. So although I like the idea of it coming in, as I say, like a factory, like bzz, 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 cut the pieces out and do a rotation, sounds fun, not practical. So we're going to stick with simple for now, which is what I'm thinking of, which is just we've got to have some grooves along the side. So have some drill bits mounted above, and then as it comes up, as it comes in, it gets pushed up briefly to cut enough space, and then drop back down again and moves on. Simple as that. I'll check something over here, by the way. I'll check something about. Let's reset this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You are 4 high. Okay, I'm just slightly thinking ahead about that. Right, forget that. We're doing this bit first. So I imagine it's going to come out here, and then we're going to have something simple. Let's put some blocks down to work with from here. And we want a lifter. And we don't want the lifter engaged straight away though, because actually, I was going to say we don't want the lifter engaged straight away because it will lift too early. Because it will lift when the front edge comes over it. But in fact, we can do it differently. Okay, we'll put the lifter in for now, but I'm going to have to change this a bit later, I think. For example, what you could do is you could have a situation where you had, that's 3 high, that's 4 high. You could have something where the block cannot be lifted until it gets centered over here, yeah? Then it goes up in the air. Because we don't want it to go up just up in the air. We want it to come back down again as well. I've had a thought about that, but for now, let's just do the main part of putting the drills in place. So 1, 2, 3, it goes, and then it goes, comes across to here, then it lifts up. Let's forget this for now anyway. Let's centre it over here, like that. No. That one. No. Why must I always press R for rotate? It just makes sense to me. But it's not the right thing to push. Nice little ring structure. There we go. There we go. Imagine it's rising up, and as long as it doesn't go beyond a certain height, like that, it will cut a groove 2 spaces down, just by lifting it, okay? But how do we make it come back down again after it's done the cut? That is an interesting question. So I think the only way we can really do that is by having the lifter... I thought of a couple of ways of doing this. Either we move the lifter in and back out again, or we expose the lifter and then move it out of the way at the right time. Hold on. That's probably fine. We don't want it clashing with the sides because it's attached. No, we actually want it. We want it withdrawn. There's 2 ways of doing it. Either you trigger the lifter when block comes in, or you remove the lifter. You remove the lift thing here when the block's ready to leave. So we're going to go with this will be extended normally, and then when we trigger something, for example, we could make this a sensor here. We can neaten this up, of course, but we could do that for now. And we could say when the block hits the top, it comes back, this gets withdrawn and it comes back down again. Now it's not going to quite work yet, but this is to work in working. We have to test your designs every now and then, of course. Oh, is it because you're touching that other block? It could be. Or is it one of these situations where I have to drop it in? Maybe I have to drop it in because it's stuck to this other block. Either that or it's that. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, that was it. Yeah. It was the lifter was stuck to the other block. Okay. But now it's hit the top. Oh, you fool! You're in the wrong place because, of course, the sensor needs to be... That's going to catch me out in a few places, I'm sure. There we go. Now, but the thing is, it comes back in too soon. So how do we delay that happening? And I thought about an answer. What was my answer I thought about of this? Maybe the pullers the retractor is a problem. I can put a simple timing circuit in where it oh no, I can do that. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to have a longer signal than this going off. Yes, I need to have something where what happens here, the first action is not in fact, this is going to be ugly, but we'll get back to it. We're going to have something like the sensor trips it off, but what the sensor actually does is it pushes a block Hold on a second. To measure another way in a minute. The block comes across to here. So this block here comes across to here, and because it's been pushed, it hits a conveyor belt. And what happens is, while it's on the conveyor belt, it's activating two sensors. And the sensors are sending pulses. No, not over there. To the retractor to pull it back. Now, because the block is heading around here, it triggers two sensors, so the signal going to the retractor lasts longer, is the idea. Let's see if this actually works. No, because you've not anchored it anywhere, you goddamn fool. Yeah, that'll do. This is partly why I wanted to make sure this was off the edge slightly. Oh, okay. We need it to be a little bit longer. Actually, I don't need to do that. I could do it differently to that. I could use a third sensor. Okay, don't worry about it for now. I'll do it part of the prettying process later. I can make this. I want it to work for now, and I'll refine it later. See, now it's too late, and it carries on. And we have here, let's just double check I've made exactly what we needed. Here, we've still got a central core. It's been made. It's done. That's not bad. Yeah, that was far faster than I thought then. And the other one's coming in already. Okay, so a more complicated tool that I said about putting the drills in and rotating the object around, that was too complicated. Yeah, we didn't need that. So I'm glad I got it about right. Now, while we're here, I want to do something here. I know it isn't necessarily on the floor, but I want to have... I want to know that it gets centered. And what I'm thinking is... Oh no, these are still driving too soon, aren't they? It's actually a simpler answer than this. I'm being dumb. Simple, yeah? Okay, now we don't actually want it to drop down there probably yet, but we'll see about that. Next step is to make this. So what we have over here is we have two blocks followed by the cap. Now, the question here, now obviously these are four high, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are. 1, 2. Oh, if they're 5 high, that makes it more complicated. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're only. Am I just not counting properly? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we have to waste 2 of the parts. That is fine. We can just cut those off and break them down. Second question is: do we treat this lot as a group? By which I mean, although they're coming out in a lovely little organisation here. Isn't that nice? And they're all grouped together nicely to drop into here. But do we treat them as a group and we say, we don't care that you came out in a nice little alignment. There's 4 of you, we'll line you all up and then we'll send you for processing collectively. And then later on, we'll split you up so you drop into the right spaces. Or do we say, all right, you're all individual little snowflakes. We're going to put your cap on, and then each of you is already destined. You're going to go on that side, you're going to go on that side, and the routing that we use is based upon that. Okay, that's the two different alternatives I can think of here. And for me, I'm going to say we're all individuals and go with that for now. So all we need to do here I think is this. Oh no. Why did you stop there? I guess because that was in the way. Okay, it doesn't matter as long as they're all together. That'll do it. Okay, so they're all in a line like that here. Same like that, yeah, they all line up. We'll probably do something different, but for now that's okay. And as they come along here, all we need to do is have about here probably. We don't have to one cutter because the other piece falls onto the drill and gets broken up as it comes through. There we go. Now we've got the caps. Now the caps come in like this as well. We don't actually care. All we want to do is unite these two things together. They're already at a height, so let's take them directly out at that point here as well. And again, I think we're going to treat them as we're just going to treat them as one unit, and we don't actually care. I don't actually have to worry about this block here because they come out in two distinct groups anyway. Okay, so they're coming over here. Now the question is, how do we unite these together? And then draw them away as they're united. Well, we need a welder to fix these two bits together. So either we have the block sitting on a dead space here, and then we send them on their way once they've got their little cap on, or we have them sitting on a conveyor belt and they're being held from progressing until the cap arrives. Yeah. You see what I'm thinking here? So we could have something like this, what we have. This might be all a bit too close here, but we'll see what we can do. There we go. You can imagine them coming together now, yeah? But obviously we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need them to come in here. I did think about this already, but I possibly need to revise my thoughts on how this is going to work. I think I'm going to work on the... oh, you idiot, look at this. They're just going to completely the wrong place. What we could do is we have... if we have... I think we'll work with blockers again. In which case these are all conveyors. But you can't progress until I see otherwise, because the blocker's in the way. Okay, so we can have a sensor here. And that's what I was worried about, is that it would miss in some way. Yeah, these pistons aren't very reliable as far as this goes, because sometimes they get in the way and they push things back. I guess they're actually, no, they're totally reliable. It's just that I don't plan around it properly, is the answer. I need to do something where sorry, gulp of water. Still very hot. Very hot day. Maybe the alternative is the dead stop method, where they sit there and they get progressed. They get progressed on. If I allow the blocks coming in behind to progress this route through here, that's a problem, because these arrive at a different rate to these units over here. So how do I allow them on? The other method is the old conveyor belt method, which is where sensor says hold on. And I've got to build this up slightly, because it's got to drop onto it. Is that going to work, or are you going to get carried away? No, you're fine, actually. You are fine. I think. So when the sensor trips, this comes out and moves the whole object along when they're joined together. Actually, this is wrong anyway, isn't it? It's got to be here, because you're welding the upper part of this, which is too high, to that one. Okay. In which case you need to be kind of it rolling away when it's resting on here. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I didn't know you could react in that way, but that's interesting. Stop you going anywhere. So, but where's the sensor going to go? No, you need to be a dead spot here, don't you? We're back to dead spots again. Oh no, this isn't going to work either, because they're going to get pushed on by the ones behind them. Hold on. How am I stuck at this point? This is just daft. I can't be stuck here. Every time, I don't like it if I use the second one. That's awkward. But I might have to. By which I mean... Oh, we're getting into the fugly stage again, aren't we? I have to rethink about how this works, I think. I don't like this at all. Oh. Yeah, of course it's not being moved on again, is it? Bum. Right, let me have a think about this one. So if this one counts to 2, that means all the even numbers go down here. Yeah? That means 2 and 4 in the chain go down this way. And 1 and 3 go that way. And that means I need a third sensor. I do need a third sensor. No, 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 no. Look at me remembering the shortcut keys. Nope. Look at me not remembering to put in a support block. Oh, it's a thing. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They're not quite in the right... Oh, they are in the right spot, actually. Although... Okay, next test of whether I'm completely mental. It's entirely possible. You know. No one promised any sanity around here. That's long gone, mate. Wow, these are coming fast, aren't they? Maybe I haven't got time for this nonsense, because these blocks are coming in so fast. It's a fast old timer on this. I don't think this is going to work, you know. I don't think it's going to work. No. It might do, I guess. Let's continue with the madness a bit longer, shall we? What we... I'm laughing, but I'm also crying. These are 3 high, aren't they? Yeah, they're 3 high. 1, 2. Okay. He says, making it sound like he knows what he's doing. With variable success. Oh. Is that still going to work? Got the sensors right here. I have to move this one back a little bit. Oh no, we're alright. No, we're not. It'll clash. It will clash with that. Right, let's do this then.